This is USA News Hub, United States, the heart of American sports. Subscribe for power, passion, and champions. Coco Gauff walks onto the Australian Open courts calm, confident, and fearless. But it's not her speed. It's not her mentality. And it's not even her ranking that tells the real story this year. It's her forehand .1 swing. One sound off the strings. One shot that explains exactly where Coco Gauff is now, and where she's headed next. This Australian Open isn't just another tournament for Coco. It's a statement. Welcome back to the channel, tennis fans. When people talk about Coco Gauff, they usually mention her athleticism, her composure beyond her years, and her ability to shine on the biggest stages. But at this Australian Open, one thing is standing out more than anything else. Her forehand, a shot that was once considered a liability, now looks like a weapon, a conversation starter, and possibly the key to her future as a multiple-time Grand Slam champion. Today, we're breaking down Coco Gauff's Australian Open, the evolution of her forehand, and why this single shot now says everything about her tennis identity. Yellow square Coco Gauff at the Australian Open. Confidence from point one. From the moment Coco Gauff stepped onto the court in Melbourne, there was a visible shift. Her movement looked free. Her body language was calm. Her decision-making, sharp. She wasn't rushing points. She wasn't forcing winners. She was constructing rallies, patiently and intelligently. And most importantly, she wasn't hiding her forehand. She was leaning into it. For years, analysts talked about Coco Gauff's forehand in careful terms. They'd say things like, "It breaks down under pressure. Opponents target it. She runs around it too much." And for a long time, those criticisms weren't completely unfair. Early in her career, Coco relied heavily on her elite backhand, her speed, her court coverage. Her forehand sometimes looked rushed, overly spin-dependent, or defensive. But here's the truth. Backhand index pointing right Coco Gauff never ignored that weakness. She worked on it. She rebuilt it. And now, at this Australian Open, she's trusting it. Blue square, what has changed in Coco Gauff's forehand? The transformation didn't happen overnight. It's the result of technical tweaks, tactical maturity, and most importantly, confidence. Let's break it down. Point one, simpler mechanics. Her forehand swing is now more compact, less wrist-dependent, better timed. That makes it more reliable under pressure. Point two, better footwork. Coco is now stepping into her forehand instead of reaching for it. That small difference improves balance, increases power, reduces errors. Keycap 3, clear intent. At the Australian Open, Coco isn't hitting forehands just to survive. She's hitting them to open the court, to change direction, to finish points. This is the difference between reacting and controlling. Yellow square Australian Open conditions help, but skill does the work. Melbourne's courts reward players who hit clean, generate controlled power, can redirect pace. And Coco Gauff is thriving in these conditions. Her forehand is penetrating through the court, isn't sitting up short, isn't breaking down late in rallies. Opponents can no longer camp on that wing. Now they have to think twice. Red square from defense to offense. A key turning point. What truly separates this version of Coco Gauff is how she transitions. Previously, she defended until she got a backhand. She waited for mistakes. Now, she creates opportunities with her forehand. She dictates rallies from both sides. That change is massive. It means Coco is no longer just hard to beat. She's actively trying to beat you. Blue square mental clarity. The hidden story behind the shot. Technique matters, but mentality matters more. And at this Australian Open, Coco Gauff looks mentally free. She's not second-guessing. She's not hesitating. She's committing to her shots. That includes the forehand. When a player trusts a shot, the opponent feels it immediately. The pace increases. The angles widen. The pressure builds, and suddenly, Coco isn't reacting, she's imposing. Yellow square match moments that tell the story. Across her matches in Melbourne, there's a clear pattern. Break points won with forehand aggression. Cross-court forehands setting up winners. Inside-out forehands finishing rallies. These aren't accidents, they're intentions. Coco is choosing to play forward tennis. Red square why this forehand matters for her career. Let's be clear about this. Backhand index pointing right, Coco Gauff already had enough talent to win Grand Slams. But with a dependable forehand, she becomes dangerous everywhere. This changes matchups against power players. Her effectiveness against left-handers. Her ability to win quick points. Her longevity at the top. A strong forehand unlocks everything. Blue square comparisons to the greats. Every great champion eventually solved their one weakness. Serena Williams refined consistency. Venus improved net positioning. Iga Swiatek strengthened serve variety. For Coco Gauff, the forehand was the final piece. And now? It's starting to look like a feature, not a flaw. Yellow square pressure moments. Australian Open tests champions. Grand Slams don't test technique, they test belief. And at the Australian Open, Coco's forehand is holding up under scoreboard pressure. Late in sets. At crucial points. That's what champions do. Red square what opponents are adjusting to. Players facing Coco now can't use the same old playbook. Before. Backhand index pointing right, hit to the forehand, now. Backhand index pointing right, where do we go? And when opponents hesitate, even for half a second, Coco takes over. Blue square the bigger picture. Coco Gauff's identity. This Australian Open isn't just about wins and losses, it's about identity. Coco Gauff is evolving from counterpuncher-aggressor, defender-director, prospect-standard, and her forehand is the loudest proof. Yellow square what this means for the rest of the draw. If this version of Coco Gauff continues, she can go deep. She can challenge anyone. She can win the whole thing. Because tennis at the highest level comes down to backhand index pointing right, who can impose their game under pressure. Right now, Coco can. Coco Gauff's Australian Open isn't defined by highlight reels or headlines, it's defined by something simpler. A forehand that finally matches her belief, a shot she trusts. A shot she chooses. A shot that says everything about her growth. The rest of the tour has been warned. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Coco Gauff's evolution, hit like, subscribe for more Grand Slam coverage, and comment below. Backhand index pointing right, is this the best version of Coco Gauff we've ever seen? Make sure you subscribe to USA News Hub United States. More breaking news. More powerful stories. More champions. Coming your way. See you soon.